The greatest deed is honesty. Hello, everyone. That is the title of this episode. And what I'd like to communicate here is that when you look at man and when you look at different human beings, you will see that they have done different stuff. And so in these different actions that these human beings have done, in other words, the different lives that have been lived, you see that some of them have produced something in this reality that has amazed the rest. In other words, their act or their greatest deed was fascinating. So what this human being, the way he engaged life, expanded vision. And so that is why it was great. Now, to be honest, when you think about deeds, you're usually working with a framework of a certain valuation for a certain formed relationship. What that means is that you are interpreting the geometry. You are calling it a triangle. You know? So when man begins to create his own value system, he will see that it is constantly breaking because he's changing. So it's as if like you thinking that when you were 5 years old, you have exactly going to have that same reality. In other words, everything around you, you couldn't imagine how it could change, but it changed as you got more engaged. So you see that it is the quality of experience for the human being that is, in a sense, shifting his experience and giving him transcendent views of self. Now, honesty is a very important factor because when you're looking at things, you don't want to accept something that is not the clearest knowing for you. What that means is that, for example, there have been moments that people get into where they know directions, but they're not sure about it enough to communicate it. So they give a slight suggestion and it goes a bit unheard, and then damn, it's exactly right. Their intuition was right. You see, that is the application of your mind to your environment in the sense of creating meaning. So you are creating meaning simply because we are amazing designers who open our eyes to worlds that just open up in an instant. So if you are a being that is aware in this way, honesty is that filter. It is that thing that heals you because it is telling you stop acting in these solid and unnecessary realities when where your intelligence must be acknowledging reality in a much more greater and expansive way. So think of it this way. If you now know how much more you know than your 5-year-old eyes, just visualize how much your future will know more about your present. So understand that it doesn't matter how foolish you think the act in the present is, simply by you living on, you will become and grow in a way where you will see that the petals of the flower had an elegance that only came when the stem was long enough, And you will see intuition will become your sense of being so naturally present in the moment that even self does not need to be an idea that is kept too firmly. What that means is when you let go of ideas which you've kept too solid, you suddenly see it's a good idea. Do you know what I mean? That means you are putting the intensity of meaning in the idea, and as the idea shifts for you because you're accumulating experience in this life, you get different senses of that idea. So in other words, for example, one can see the same apple being used for Newton's inspiration and Eden's mistake. You can see that your mind can blend idea in the ways that idea becomes more loose, and when idea becomes really loose, when you have a sense of journey within you, that you suddenly in a moment see that you're definitely more than all that you thought you were. And it is then that your greatest deed has become honesty. And you will see its beauty. You will see its beauty of you being a clear expression of who you are. Because we want to say if the eyes in the sky suddenly decided to come down, They would see such honesty and natural clarity within our eyes that they're not just talking to us, they are talking to the world. You are an ambassador for Gaia because you are her extension. You are the extension of this source of physicality which we're on. And so, as a marble spins on a glass floor, you will begin to see that light has many insane combinations of presenting itself when it's aimed accurately. Welcome yourself into your greatest embrace and let your greatest deed be honesty. Much blessings and namaste.